So the enclosure is coming to an end now. We've got a few finishing touches to do. So I've bought the rest of what we need to get this enclosure finished. So first on our list is a heat protecting cage, I guess you could call it. One of these bad boys. So this is going to go around our light fixture. Our light fixture is going to be inside it, so the snake can't actually get to the heat itself. We want the enclosure to be warm. We don't want them to be able to get to the heat supply. So we got 4 of those. We'll put those off to the side, and we can get rid of this box. It's now empty. And we can get to the next bit. Can't even remember what some of the things were I ordered. Those is empty. And here is the second part of the light fixture. So each enclosure is going to have one of these. That. Get rid of that. And then what we've got, I've turned the TV on apparently, are our little ceramic heat bulbs. These are 50 watt bulbs, these ones, and these ones here are 100 watt. So I'm not sure which ones we need. We're gonna have to do a little bit of testing while it's here in the shop. So that right there is our light fixture, our ceramic heat emitter, and our protective cage to keep the animals safe. Then our next thing is we've got our little ventilation caps here. We're gonna drill 2 per enclosure. We've got our door locks here. That's empty now. And then we have our track for our glass doors themselves. So we've got 3 here and we've got 1 over there in the enclosure currently. And then our last Amazon box anyway is a thermostat. I've got 4 of these. Each enclosure is going to have its own thermostat controlling its own power source. This is an important step. We don't want to be cooking any of our animals. So before we can transport this bad boy, we've got to install the ventilation and we've got to install the lights. So you've seen obviously all the animals get housed. This video is more of a finishing touch video. So we're going to go over the things that complete the enclosure as a system. But let's go quickly have a look at the enclosure as it currently stands before we get into this. So we've got the brown, the grey, the black, and the beige, I guess we could say. So here's our track system. We've got to cut it to size and install the bottom piece and the top piece so that our doors can slide nicely. We've got the door to go on here, which I have to cut, which I have the material for that right here. I just have to cut it to size. I've got this material here, which is what I'm going to use to actually extend the light fixtures down. So I'm thinking this is going to go somewhere here, so it gives them kind of a cool section on the left and a warm section here on the right. Well, that's one done. That was a lot more of a pain in the arse than I was expecting it to be. But let's do some magic and... time for him to shut up. You good people don't want to hear all that bloody racket now, do you? Now we've got to do a few things with the enclosure before we transport it here. Firstly, drilling the ventilation. Each enclosure is going to have 2 ventilations, 1 on each side at the top. Then we have the door to cover all the electrical stuff going down the side of the quadplex. That's where we're hiding all the wires, the thermostat, the timers, all of that lovely stuff. Because one of the ugliest things when it comes to enclosures is the cables. And if you have cables running down the side or running behind you, you can see them. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing. And it definitely kind of takes away the atmosphere of it being like a naturalistic kind of look, like these are, if you've got cables running all over the shop. It just makes things a lot more tidy this way. I also need to finish the wires and kind of fasten them to the top of the enclosure, but I'm not going to bother showing you that. I think that explanation's fine. Oh, so now we're back to the ventilation holes? So just to give you a bit of behind the scenes here, my laptop is kind of set up here with the video playing, so I actually know what I'm talking about, and I'm not just talking to the camera, because I'm so good at scripting and planning ahead that I need my laptop to be here with the video that I edited months ago so that I know what I'm doing. But it looks like I'm drilling the ventilation holes now, and I didn't put that in with the previous portion of this video where I was also working on the ventilation. That is some amateur work if I've ever seen it. Now that editing doesn't make a lot of sense now, does it? There's a lot of stuff missed, a lot of stuff lost in translation, because I did this such a long time ago now, I don't really remember what I did. And I'm not going to change it, I'm going to let it sit the way it is. Well, I guess we did have to lay it down to kind of install it easier, so maybe that's why I did it this way. Who knows? Okay mate, now you're just taking the piss, let's speed this up. Okay, so now the Quad Plex is actually in the snake room itself. And we have installed the door tracks and the thermostat and all the lights and everything. We fastened the cables to the top of the enclosure now. The final step I'm about to do here, I assume, because this is the last clip that doesn't have any audio that I actually have to do this bit of filming to give it context. So I guess this guy's going to start talking soon. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say here. I'm just kind of filling a void. There are the glass doors all installed. And I've installed them with these glass locks, which if I lock and I try and push the handle, it doesn't open. We only get a little bit of opening here, but no animal that's going in here is going to be able to escape that. So there we go. The Quad Plex is finished. Enclosure 1, Enclosure 2, Enclosure 3, and Enclosure 4. Welcome back to Editor Matt. Don't worry about that other guy, he's not going to be joining us again today in this video. Now yes, I realise that I have not shown you who goes into the top enclosure of this Quadplex as of now, and this video is coming out before that one does, and it's the final of the Quadplex, yet you still don't know what's in the top of it. It's a bit backwards, I'll give you that, and to be honest, I don't think I've actually filmed much of him on the channel at all, have I? I can't really remember. I don't know if it's just me, but once I film, edit, and schedule the video to be uploaded on YouTube, I don't really remember what the video is about or what the context is. I mean, I know the meat and potatoes of the video. Yes, I know the general concept, but I don't know the little details that go in it. So have I featured him in any videos before? I don't know. I know I haven't handled him in a video, but I don't know if I've put images of him up. So I'm just going to leave it here, and you'll just have to wait for the video to come out when we actually do the top of the enclosure. But back to my point. I know we have not homed Cleo, who is the snake that goes in the top of the Quadplex, in that enclosure yet, on the channel that is, but this video is going to be ready before that one, so this one's coming out first. But realistically, that is the Quadplex done. It's built and in place, and f*** me, let me tell you, that thing is f***ing heavy, and that sucked to get down here. It took 4 of us to get this bugger down those stairs and not damage anything. So note to self, make it smaller or make it dividable and stackable, because f*** me, that sucked getting it down here. Bloody Nora. Now, I'm pretty happy with the outcome of this enclosure. I won't lie, I made an absolute ton of mistakes with this and wasted a fair amount of money. I could have definitely done this a lot cheaper than the method I took. So all that's left now is to build another one for the snakes in the snake rack. So we will be getting to that soon. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Man, this video is going to do piss poor on YouTube. This video is all over the f***ing place, and I can almost guarantee that none of you are going to see this bit.